the places nobody goes. I wanna teach all the things that nobody knows. I wanna grow wings, leave the coop, learn to fly. Bungee jump from the tallest building in Dubai. I wanna fly around town in my UFO. I wanna eat real food, not the GMOs. I wanna make moves, call the shots like the boss. I wanna love like I never lost.
We now return to Desertwood Days with Kathy Blaze, sponsored today by Movie Group. Learn more at DreamNetworkChannel.com.
Welcome back to Desertwood Days. I tell you, I am so excited about our next guest. He was a season 2 guest, and he is such an amazing guy. Let's welcome Mr. Tony Noyes. Hello there.
Hi there. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Good to see you.
Good to see you again.
Been a long time.
Yes, it has. But you know what? That's always a good thing, because that means that you're out there busy, you're doing things in the community, so that's great.
That's true. I try.
Yeah.
Try to keep busy, you know.
Yeah. So Tony, you were here in season 2, and I'm sure we have new guests out there and they want to know, who is this Tony Noyes guy?
I'm waving to the studio crowd, the audience. Hi, everybody.
So, Tony, I'd like to just get a little information so our audience feel like they know you also. Where are you originally from?
I'm from here, Phoenix, Arizona.
Cool. I
Born
am
and
too.
raised.
Me too.
Are you?
Yes, yeah.
Have you ever lived outside of the state, or you always?
You know what? My mom tried it a couple of times, but we always ended back up here.
Kind of the same. Kind of the same. Here we are.
I think she was a mama's girl, so she had to keep coming back to mama.
There you go.
Yes.
You know, I've grown up here. I lived in Washington State for a while, a long time ago, for a couple of years, and California for a bit, and then came back here.
Yeah, my mom tried California until that earthquake hit, and she ran back here.
Yeah, she was like, "That's it." Yeah, the sidewalk splitting open. I'm gone.
Right.
Good enough for me.
So, Tony, you're a musician.
Yes.
You act also.
Yes.
Are you a writer as well?
Writer, filmmaker, animator, video editor.
Okay.
I do sound, you know, everything that has to do with art.
Okay. You're like that hamster. You're just out there. You can do it all.
Yeah,
you're like
the jack of all
where's
trades.
number 10? He's over here doing the sound right now.
Yeah, right.
But that's awesome, because if it's your project and you know how you want things to look or sound, I mean, you can sit there and listen and go, you know what, this needs to go this way or whatever.
Yeah, I think, you know, learning every aspect of it, doing a film or a song or whatever that is, yeah, you learn every, you know, and I don't know all of it, you know, it's better to get somebody who's really experienced and knows what they're doing, but I know when I see it, I go, hey, you know, can you do this or that a little bit? But
because we assume the professionals know what they're doing, so if you even at least know a little bit about it, you know that they're giving you what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you can help instruct what you're, or direct them in what you're looking for, and know a little bit about it, not just go, can you turn the thingy this way and that little, you know,
the thingy.
that thingy over there. Well, what thingy? You know.
So, Tony, what got you into this industry? What inspired this?
This is just something. I mean, when I was a child, I was sitting in school, bored out of my mind, and there's papers passed out to do a test, and I'm an artist, so I would sketch on the corners of the paper. And I would actually turn it in, and who knows, I was probably second grade, but I would turn in the paper with all this artwork, and the teacher would say, there's not a stitch of work done. You know, I'd call my mom and say, none of the work was done. The artwork's beautiful. He's very talented, but none of the work's done, and you have to do that to pass the class. So so I stayed after quite a bit, I remember, in second grade, and I would just sketch more, but I was just always into art, and I loved it. So anytime, you know, as technology advanced, you know, I was doing hand sketching, and I would do chalks, and I would do colors and markers, and then all of a sudden it got onto the computer, and then, you know, my dad had bought me a computer program, Corel Draw, a long time ago, and Paint was on there. That's an old program, but anyway, so I started dipping into the computer a little bit, and then it just branched me off to everything: video editing, animation.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and you can, you know, what I love about it is tying all those together. You know, I mean, I can be on the computer and write a song or a soundtrack for the film. I need some music. I'll pop open the music program and I'll write something real quick and then, you know, put it in the movie. So, you know, it's just been something that's in my blood.
Yeah. You know what? And I think it is. I mean, we're either artsy or we're not, or we're more technical or whatever maybe. But I remember I was telling you about my older brother.
Yes.
As far as I can remember, he was always drawing in his room. He was always sketching. He would always draw people and draw. I mean, I remember he used to make me birthday cards and things
Oh,
like
nice.
that.
Yeah.
He was that was always him. He loved music and stuff. And it's shocked to see that he didn't get into that industry, but I think for some people they love it and they're passionate about that's what they do for their private time or whatever. And I think that was more for him.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like work for him.
Right.
So that was very and he was the one that loved the Converse. So he was cool, just like you.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, and it's also very difficult to make money with art, and it's a tough industry.
Right.
So you got to find the niche of where you would. So I think
Right.
sometimes we tend to go, oh, this is easier just grabbing this job here, and that
Yeah.
becomes more of a hobby.
That's
you know?
true. That's true. So you were here in season 2. What's new since we last saw you? What you got going on?
Oh gosh, we got all kind. It always changes from year to year and decade. If I could look back at the different decades of me doing it, always changes. Like it's like a block of 10 years. Oh, I did this for 10 years, and I changed up over here.
Well, why don't we start
And-
here? I know you're into filmmaking, or so has there been any new projects in filmmaking?
I recently worked on a project which was a 2D animation, and
Oh, okay.
so I had to design the characters. It was off of a children's book
Oh,
that actually is written by who's now become a friend. His name is Stephen Nebkin, and I met him at the Sholo Film Festival.
okay.
And he needed an animation done for a children's book that he had put up called Theodore's Plate. A beautiful story. It was the medieval times or whatever is kind of where I guess there's a period you call it. I call it the medieval times because I love that restaurant. But anyway, it kind of takes place in that era, and it's about a young boy who has a plate and he broke it and glued it back together, and he does this very what do I want to say? He kind of gives his plate to a traveler that comes through, and he just kind of like he's not selfish at all, and he just says, you can use my plate because they didn't have an extra plate for him.
Oh,
So anyway, that's kind of I don't want to ruin the whole story, but I had to do the animation
Okay.
and redesign the characters from the original book, and that led to getting we're trying to like sell the whole project because there's about 8 installments of that
Okay.
story. So the first one's kind of done, at least 3 minutes of the first one to kind of like show what we're doing.
right.
And then he also asked me to redesign the children's book. So then I went back and drew all the illustrations for the children's book and did the layout. So that was my most recent one in the last year.
Okay, that is
or two.
awesome.
Yeah, so that's been really great. And I have 2 films, just short films. I have a fan film, a Batman, Robin, Joker
Okay.
film that I did with my son about 10 years ago. And it's probably reaching 900,000 views or something.
Wow.
We're hoping to hit 1 million. But he was 8 years old.
And where can we find that?
That's on YouTube. It's
Okay.
you could just go to Noisecraft Pictures
Okay.
on YouTube, everybody, and it's that film that we did was just for fun, and we just kind of
it has that many views, so someone's enjoying it.
it was crazy. We just kind of it's a cartoon actually. It's an animated series or an animated show with Robin and the Joker, and so we
Yes.
redid that.
They will always be popular.
Oh, they will. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just put it out there and it blew up, and it was like cool. So we're redoing that now that he's 19.
Okay.
He's older now because everybody said he's too little. That was the
Oh.
comments. So we're doing a remake of that. So I have the suit that I built for Robin now, and I did the armor, and
Okay.
I just painted it recently, and I just did the cape for it. So I do that as well. I sew, I
Oh my
make
goodness,
props,
you
I
do it
do
all.
the makeup. Yeah, I
Right.
do. I'm gonna do my face up as the Joker with some prosthetics.
All right. So now, since we're talking about face painting and doing your face, as a performer, do you do your face? I mean, who is it that is it Kiss or the rock bands?
Oh.
Do you do your face into those?
I've done that. I was in a band. Well, it was a project that we started called Hexa, and it was very much like Kiss. And we all painted up in different colors. I had the yellow and the black, and one guy had the red and the black, and so we had different characters made up. So I have done that, and I was in a Kiss tribute.
Oh, okay.
So I played the star child, that guy, Paul Stanley, and that was a fun gig.
I
So
bet it was.
yeah, it's being in a tribute. I'm in a Bryan Adams tribute right now.
Oh.
So I wear a blonde-haired wig and sing with a little bit of rasp, But it's kind of a mix of acting and singing and being a
Right,
musician. So I
right.
love the tribute thing. It's
Right.
just it's very challenging. you know.
Right. I know because you go there and you're doing this professional that people have seen for years, and they want to go there and see that person on stage.
Yeah,
Even though Tony is there behind the makeup or whatever, the costume, they still want to see that person.
right.
And if you're doing the wrong dance moves or playing the wrong music, something's wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yes.
work.
Yes.
And people are really picky. I did a Guns N' Roses tribute,
Mhm.
and Axl Rose does a move where he
Right.
he does this thing with his arm, and I didn't do that during the show. Man, did I hear it from somebody?
Well,
If he doesn't
because
do
most
this,
people go there looking for that.
Right.
Yes.
So the next time I did a show, I did that right off the bat. So yeah,
Well,
you have to play the character.
that is true.
And got me in trouble a little bit with the crowd.
But that's the way it is with cover bands. I have a friend, and she's a friend of the show, that does a Tina Turner tribute.
Oh.
And I'm sure she goes through that, especially since we just lost Miss Turner.
Oh yeah.
I mean, for her to get there, and especially not do the #1 song, people are probably going to be a little pissed.
Yeah. Or the
Yeah.
moves.
Or the
I mean, her
moves.
moves. Come on now.
Mhm.
And if you're not doing them right, I could imagine people picking on
Yeah,
her.
so you guys are brave to get there and perform other artists' moves, not just the songs, but the moves, the looks, and everything.
Mannerisms and the
Right.
voice. Try to in between if you're going to talk. It's
Right.
difficult. Yeah.
Oh, you
It's a
guys
challenge.
Yes, you guys are brave. That's a talent.
That's why I like sticking to the original stuff.
Yes.
See, I do original music, and that way nobody knows. If I do it wrong,
Right.
I wrote it that way.
That's true. So, what was? Tell us a little bit about this event that you were at.
Oh, it was a big, memorial event that was over at the Blues Bar.
Okay.
And it was for, we actually did it for the husband, Kevin Schumacher, who
Oh.
his wife Angela had passed away. So
Oh,
a lot of musicians were invited to come and do songs and get up on the stage. And it just turned into a big jam session, if you will. Just everybody was kind of stage bombing, jumping up there and singing on the other mics and just putting their arms around one another and
That's
just had a
a
really good
great
time.
reason to lift the morale and
Yeah.
help the husband through that experience.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine, you know,
Yeah.
'cause I've been, I've been with my wife over 30 years. So,
Mm.
you know, if anything was like, and I was talking to him about it, I said, if anything like that happened, it's just like, bam, empty house all of a sudden. So
Right.
yeah, he needed some support and some help.
Yes.
And, you know, it was a beautiful evening, you know.
So it just happened to be all these musicians there in the room.
It was one of those where a lot of people were invited. Hunter Storm is her name. She's an entertainer.
Okay.
And she's with a band called Horns Up, and they're all friends. You know, I didn't realize how many friends, you know, musician friends that would be there,
Oh.
or that, you know, that I really would know, or that you don't realize how many people
Right.
you know, till I guess is what I'm saying, till I got there, and it was like, hey, oh my God. Hey. So she had put this together for Kevin and invited a lot of musicians just to come up and do a song. I did one song, and so the whole night was filled with, and the whole room was filled with all these people that were going to perform, and then that brought other musicians out to come
Oh,
see.
Of course.
So it was just packed with local musicians, and it was just quite amazing. And we just looked around the room and went, "This is our local scene. This is really cool."
Wow.
You know, because sometimes, you know, you see the competition, or you see
Mhm.
that band's playing there, and you know, things like that. This is where everybody came together, and it was about, you know, a good cause and just music.
Yes.
And-
So as a musician, I know as in actors, and you're actor too. Is it hard to get away from? I mean, those types of events where you're just filled with musicians or performers. I mean, do you ever have the opportunity to go somewhere where you just, oh, I'm just Tony today?
Yeah, I do now. I didn't before, but now I kind of take that time to
Mm.
just go out and relax. But if I'm going to, I had to make that clear sometimes, because I would go out to see a band, and then the guy singing would say, "Tony, you're up," and he would just leave the mic like, "Here you go, sing," and I'm like,
Yeah.
You know. And
Mhm.
sometimes I didn't want to sing. Sometimes I
Right.
just want to sit and enjoy the show. So
Right.
once I made that,
Sometimes it does get hard. I mean, that's what we're performers, entertainers. It does get hard sometimes when you just want to relax and sit and have a drink or eat or whatever, and then, oh, this person is in the room. Come on up and say something.
yeah.
It's like, no, I don't want to say anything tonight.
Yeah, yeah. I just
Right.
want to just be mind if I just sit for a minute. I think Bruce
Yeah.
Lee said it best. He goes, "I'm kind of a monkey in a cage now,
Mm.
performing for everybody." They'd say,
Yeah.
"Do a kick,
Right.
do a," you know, and he's
Mhm.
like, "I really don't want to
Right.
right now," you know. So yeah, and I've had that where I just want to sit in a restaurant, and or you
Yeah.
see somebody, hey, and You know,
And especially
this
when
is
you're
only
with your
local.
family. I mean, it's nice to be able to go out with your family and just sit and relax and enjoy them. Let it be about them for tonight,
Right.
not about
And
you and
us,
the
and we're
music.
yeah, we're doing
Yes.
some quality time here together. So
Right, right.
yeah.
So, do you have any new projects coming up, Tony?
Well, we talked a little bit about some of the, you know, the animations that I'm
Mhm.
working on and a couple of the films. I'm working on. I jam with my band, with my son in a band. He's 19. He's going to be 20.
Okay.
So he ended up remaking some of my old songs because I have a ton of music out there. If you want to look me up, Noyes, last name. That's my son's name as
Okay.
well.
Your camera's right here, so
Oh,
you
it
tell
is?
them over here.
I'm talking to all you people
You
here.
turn it-
Oh yeah, that's not even on me. Okay, so there. Thank you. My son goes under Zax, which is Zax.
Okay.
And he writes his own music, produces his own music.
Oh,
And
so
so
there's a Tony Jr. out there.
Pretty much, yeah. So I bought him a computer, got him all the software, said, here's how you record, taught him the basics, and now he's taken off and just learned.
Mhm.
He's just, his production is like amazing on the computer now.
Generation doing something different.
Different music, yeah.
Yes.
It's very interesting because he's doing everything with rap and
Mm.
rock and metal all in one song. That's kind of what they're
You
doing
know, and a
nowadays.
lot of them, yeah, it all goes together, and you
Yeah.
know what? It makes beautiful music.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. I've seen some combinations of certain bands and performers mixing things together. And
Yeah.
it's, well, you know what? That's the way it started. I mean, blues and rock and roll and all that stuff. You know, they tried to separate it, but it started that way.
Yeah.
It
You
meshed
can-
together.
You can bring it all together, and if you're in the key of C, you're in the key of C. It's music, you know.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. And now to hear it all in one song just blows me away. I mean, they kind of had, you know, different artists get together. You had Run DMC and Aerosmith, and you had Linkin Park.
Love,
Isn't that great? Like when they put all
yes.
that together, and now it's one song with some screamy stuff, and then singing, and then some rapping in the middle, and then it goes to heavy
Right.
guitar, and then into some
But
synths.
that's the way it is. I mean, you think someone like a Taylor Swift, when she brings some rap or something into something different into her music, or a Shakira that mixes her music with something totally different than what you would expect from a Shakira.
Right.
It's beautiful.
And I think that's the surprise, because you have the norm, the same stuff that everybody's kind of
Right.
cookie cutter thing, and then you have
Yeah.
things like you mentioned where they bring something new into it you never
Yeah.
heard before, and you go, wow.
So Tony, where do you see yourself in, say, 5 years? What do you want to see different about your brand?
You know, I've learned. I set some goals, and at this point in the game, I think I don't really have the expectations of. I just kind of let the universe take me where.
Okay.
I put up my sail
Right.
and just let the universe take
You've
me
been
wherever.
doing this so long. That 5 years ship has sailed, and you're coasting, right?
I'm just cruising, enjoying
Yeah.
the ride. I'm really just,
Yes.
I'm just looking at everything and enjoying it. I always try to keep busy. Of course, you know, you want something that would just be, you know, hugely successful, and the money and the, you know, more or less I'd like to, whatever the artwork that I'm working on, like Theodore's Plate or Noise Factory, which is my son's band, me and my son's band, Noise Factory, look it up. No matter what I'm putting out, it would be great to, you know, stir some emotions in people and do it on a huge level. Globally, you want everybody in the world to feel good off of this, whatever I had just done. That's, of course, would be a wonderful dream and goal. Is it realistic? Who knows? But, you know, you put it out there. I just keep putting it out there for however many, if I touch
And
2 or 10.
I strongly believe those are the people that are most memorable. That it's not just about them and what they're passionate about doing. They're putting that out there for the individuals. They're leaving a mark for them to feel you.
Right.
So your music or whatever it is that you do will last a lifetime and more.
It means something. to
Yes,
those people.
because because it wasn't about you. You did it because you wanted people to feel something. I would say, you want them to leave out that room remembering who you were or how you made them feel.
Right.
And that's what your music and performances will do.
Yeah, and I love looking back at the pictures of myself performing on stage. And why I say that is because I can see the people in the background. It's not looking at myself.
Right.
And I jump in the crowd usually with the mic and go, let me hear you sing. And to see those smiles, like people singing in the
That's the
microphone.
best part.
That's what I love looking at. I
Yeah.
go back through the pictures and look at the people and make sure they're having a good time.
That is
And
awesome.
I like making that impression.
That
And,
is
I think
awesome.
that's what always left me is when, you go see a film, you see a musical act, and you leave just feeling great, or you feel like that action star. That's I think what it's all about.
You're leaving your mark with your 19-year-old who's now starting to do, and he got that all from you. I mean, it was probably within him, but you know what? You birthed that.
Yeah, I pushed it along a little, and he's growing into his own kind of thing, which is just great to watch. Yeah.
Tony, where can our audience find you?
Well, you can go to TonyNoyes.com, TonyNoyes.com. That's my main website. I'm on Facebook, YouTube channel, Noisecraft Pictures, Tony Noyes as well, and Instagram and all those,
Thank you. Thanks for joining us today. It was such a pleasure to have you back on.
Than't you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.